boys and girls. Okay, just a quick one, because I had a couple of guys asking me. I posted some pictures of the cab bit of this train that came out very, very nice, which I will show you now. And then they asked me, 3D print, how the hell do you get to that sort of finish? Now, okay, I think I have a recipe that works. So, in the good old days, I used to paint, because all my stuff was weathered, I used to paint just a primer like this, and then just a quick sand and chuck the base coat at it. But now, work with me. Look how nice the door handles are. Hey. If you want this sort of finish, okay, where stuff is brilliantly shiny, can you see there? Brilliantly shiny and smooth. My recipe works like this. You cannot see if it's white like at the bottom there, where the stuff-ups are. You need to prime this thing, and then all these things come out. Now, what I did was, I use Rust-Oleum Flat Red. I love this stuff. Rust-Oleum has a tendency to pull into the plastic. Look, it was designed to do garden furniture and crap. So, if you spray that stuff on plastic, it goes into the actual material and covers beautifully. And now what happens inevitably, if you've got that first layer on, I do 2 layers. Wait, let's start there. I do 2 layers, and I do them wet. So I chuck a layer, give it a minute, chuck another layer over it, so that you have coverage of, places that you normally would miss and stuff like that, in grooves like that. You can see there, like there. There's probably only 1 layer on there, because on the second coat I missed. But now, when it is indeed now in primer, all the little nasty things come out. You see? I didn't even see that when it went on. There's a crack in the resin there. So that needs to be filled. Yeah, there's a door that didn't stick properly in the corner. I need to fix that. Focus! Yeah, you see there. There's a rough bit there. There's another one there. All over the place, there's the little rough patches. There's like a big one here. All those will come out. There. On some of the resin things, it's like little hairs. I didn't pick up that one. So, there. Now, the trick is, the nice thing with priming it is that not only does it bring out the flaws in a 3D print, but it also puts a double layer down. Now you go with a very, very light sandpaper. I use a 800. And if I have to, I use water. And I run over this thing again, all the little patches that I showed you there now. I run over it with an 800. You have to be careful now not to scratch your surface, so your sandpaper needs to be relatively light. 800 to 1000, as I say, if you can, use water. And you sand this thing again. You get rid of all those little marks, everything that bugs you. You see there, yeah, as well. There's a lot here. You sand that away. Now what happens, and this is actually, Mosman, at the end of the day, the whole idea with a primer, is that it does its job. So your basic low spots are now covered in primer. Your high spots will be open because you must now sand it off, which makes your 3D print even smoother. Okay? Then you will see now, once I've sanded this, there will be a little white spot there. Then after that, you've got to be very careful. You just spray it 1 layer of primer of it. Do not go on with thick bits. Just 1 layer. Come back again, put it under a bright light like this thing, and check if you have some flaws left, if needs be, sand it again until it's nice and smooth and there's nowhere that you... Because remember, I'm going to make this train very, very shiny. And shininess shows every single flaw. It will magnify it and it will irritate you until the day you die. All right, so then you hit that second layer after you've sanded it. Check again, sand again if needs be, and then you're ready for your base coat when it's nice and smooth. Also, while you're doing this, you will see here now in all my lines here, now that the primer's on, you can see, oh, there's a little spot when it's not through. Then take your Tamiya scriber and scribe those lines. Make them nice and clean, open them up, that it's crisp and pretty. And then from there on, you are ready for a base coat. Now, if you weather, and you can spray with MIG, you can spray with whatever you want. I really, really like either a Duco or I like a lacquer-based paint. They're just more shiny. They just go on thinner and better, and they cover better. And that is, at the end of the day, where your finish comes from. So I love, this is Tamiya. I mean, that is just next level paint, eh? I mean, Tamiya's acrylics, that stuff. Look, it's a hybrid. Yeah, it's a, you use the X20 or whatever the hell they call it to thin it with. But it goes brilliantly through an airbrush. This is actually TS12 out of a tin that I decant into a separate little holder. I will show you how I did that one day. And then I brush it through the airbrush. I spray it through the airbrush. That gives you the best sort of finish, and you go further because the stuff's expensive. So you go further with a tin. Now, all right. And then once that's on, do not be shy. 1200 sandpaper. Once your base coat's on, I mean, this was on, and then I sanded it again with 1200. And then 1500, and then I went up to 3000, that you actually polish it with your sandpaper, and then you've got the compounds. Now, this is the compound, this is the rough one, and then you get the blue one, which is the fine one. And then I run that over, and when I'm done with that, I go to this, which is absolutely magic stuff, the modeling wax. But make sure that when you put this on that you're not going to paint anything afterwards, because no glue sticks to it, nothing sticks to it. Then that thing is ready and done. Look, I did some detail painting and stuff. The roof is just... Look, I'm getting a new roof. Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to show you. I decanted some Rust-Oleum and sprayed it. And I got orange peel, which I do not know why I did that. I have no idea. You can see there, orange peel. I don't know if it was on the base because the damn thing was smooth when the primer went on. I don't know what happened there. I'm getting a new roof. And this one had a line here. I think what happened there, I might have sanded through the first layer of PG and it started delaminating. I think that's what happened. So I'm getting a new roof tonight. And I'm going to do a roof as quickly. You see, so yeah, that's basically it. You know, to get a nice finish, it's work. It's a lot of work. You can see there also, I filled in, I put a veneer on here, and I filled in over there, and if it would just focus, and you see I did a cock job there, so I need to put some more Green Stuff World filler in there and sand it again. And you see all the bottom places here I missed because I went with a mouse. So there's a little ridge along here where I didn't sand properly, which I will have to sort out now by hand and, you know, say nasty words every now and then. Okay, the other thing that I want to show you quickly. This needs detail painting. This is black and it's got a dark grey frame around it. So this is only on here with press stick, which, you know, if I pull this now, I'll pull it off. I do that so that I have no paint behind it, because this needs to be glued on later. Then I can just glue it on and I don't have to glue. That's another guy asked me, old Hannes asked me as well, what glue do you use to glue paint on paint? You never glue paint on paint. Sand it open there where you're going to you're going to glue, and then glue it. All right. Like the door up top here, this is not the right door yet. I'm waiting, they're printing the door, so I just remove this and there's no paint there, and then I can put it down and glue it in. All right, that sorts that bit out as well. So I hope this makes it sort of clear. If you do it the other way, let me know in the comments. I'm always open for suggestions and stuff, but this far, this whole setup works for me. I like what it does. I like this finish. I think it's... Let me just show you that shine again. It is. Let's just bring this over. You see that? Yeah, you can see the light in it. That's a very good finish, and that's 3D print, eh? Now, this bit here, you can see, was just lightly sanded because there's a piece that goes in there. A resin piece. It's lying here somewhere. I painted that already. So, Hannes, what I do now is I take my little micro... sander, I just make it rough, and then I paint that bit in, because there needs to be a little handle on it and stuff, so I like to do that separately. And then you just paint that in, and boomy boom, Bob's your uncle. That's obviously, the nose is obviously resin, so that was just lightly sanded and polished. The resin, oh look how the window frames came out. Remember I showed you guys on the previous video with a separate window frame, so nicely that was done. Nicely it comes out. So I'm very chuffed with it so far. I did little Ming bolts and nuts here. You see there. You see that? You see there? Now that I didn't even see. And once this is painted, okay, there's a step in front of it. That will stick out like a sore thumb. So that needs to be sorted. Best thing is, go outside, sit in sunlight where you can see what you're doing. Cut nice thin little pieces of 800 and 1200 sandpaper and run the hell out of it. Even if it takes you a day, it's worth it at the end of the day. At the end of that day, it's worth it. All right. Just a quick... Oh, look at this. This is not the right side frame for the 34, that's the 35s, but I just popped it in here to judge the distance between that and the side of the chassis, and it is bloody perfect. Can you imagine what that side frame will look like under this strain if it decides to one day focus on it, which it's not doing now? Somewhere there. I don't know what's wrong with this phone. It will go to the bin. There, I think that's it. You can see how pretty that is, hey? Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to start building that 35. Okay, dudes, I'm rambling on. I'm going to go carry on. Thank you for the subscriptions. We've got another whole bunch of them. I checked this morning, something like 976. That's what I want to see. Okay, dudes, later. Goed julle, tot ziens.